Hello and welcome back to the Adrian project. Hello. Many thanks for choosing to click on my thumbnail and to watch my content. All very much appreciated. So just before we start on to the next part of our submarine build, just a couple of things to mention. First one being I'm at the kitchen table at the minute. This is only because I've been doing a couple of other videos before I started filming this part. And I thought rather than messing about and up and down the stairs, I'd just do this beginning part at the kitchen table. So hopefully you don't mind on that. And second thing as well, before we start, you may remember from a previous video I said I didn't have a clue what this bit was that goes on to the submarine just there. And then my friend in Germany, Jochen Hansen. Hello matey, hope you're feeling well. He's been a little off weather, hope he's doing okay today. He sent me an email, he went, ha, I know what that is. And it's a snorkel. So apparently they would raise this up above the waves to get in fresh air and the likes, which meant they didn't have to surface and being a sitting duck while they were getting fresh air into the submarine. However, this part apparently was easily spotted by Allied aircraft and destroyers, so they decided to ditch that part, and that's why you don't get it on other versions of German submarines. So thank you for that one, Jochen. Fantastic. So if you can remember, we got as far as building up the guns, and I was wanting to get the decks glued down, but before that they needed painting. So as you can see from this next little section of photos, we slapped some primer on. So as we can see from the close-ups, we've got the decks all primed as well as the guns. There's another view there. And then of course we've got the hull of the submarine on all the propellers and propeller shafts and everything done as well. And here we have a little moment. We've got the hull all primed. Sorry I can't get it all in, it is just a massive model. And of course here we go. So there we are. They are all primed and ready. So the next part I'm going to be doing, because as all modelers know, when you're painting you do your light colours first, your dark colours last. So we're doing the German version, not the British version. So as we can see from the instructions there, I'm going to be doing just the top part of the hull there. That is, I think that's some kind of medium sea grey, that one. I've not got the instructions with it at the minute. I think it's medium sea grey. So that is going to be sprayed along there, after which when it's dried I'll be doing the lower hull where we'll be getting the German, I think that is German grey on the bottom as there. Also I'll be doing the decks as well. So the forward and aft part of the deck have got to be done in the medium sea grey, and then we've got to go in with that black grey colour for the rest of the decks along there. So that's all going to be a couple of days work for me, because I've got to let paint dry between coats. So it's going to be 2 coats of each colour. So I've got to give it 24 hours before I can put tape on. For you, it's going to be a blink of an eye, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be back on the modelling bench as well. So, as I always do, Shazam! And here we are, and yes, we're back at the workbench. So this is where we're supposed to be. If you can hear noise in the background, just the moment I started filming, next door's decided we're going to start chopping a tree down, so apologies for that. So as you can see, hopefully we've got the 2 coats of paint down for the base coats on the submarine. So I'm just going to talk you through what we did on that section. So as we can see from these photos here, I did the first couple of coats of the dark sea grey along the top of the hull. Also we did some on the parts of the decking as well that needed it. 24 hours after that was dry, I masked off all the grey parts that I'd done, ready for the German grey, which again, that was 2 coats of the German grey on the lower half of the hull, and also on the top parts of the deck that needed it. And after that had dried, I did the, well, it should have been anthracite, but I have been using a satin black, which I've been told was a dupe for that, and that was on the top part of the decks that needed it. So, as we can see, this is one of the top halves of the deck. I say it's supposed to be anthracite, but there are a lot of online modelling sites that do say you can use the satin black. So I had half a can of satin black and it went on for both coats. So I know I'm going to be weathering it with a rust colour and some warm metal as well. So that'll be fine on there. So we've got that part there. We've got this on the main decking part. Now around here, we are going to have to scrape some of the paint away so we can have a good keying surface for the glue when it comes to gluing the conning tower on. There's the back part, or stern part should I say, of the decking, and we've also got these parts of the decking that go on the conning tower. So when I build the conning tower, before that gets painted, all these are going to have to be masked off so we don't get sea grey paint onto those. So that means the next part for the build is going to be gluing the deck onto the main body of the submarine. But before we do, we've got to remember that we're going to have a cable going through that little hole there. Now you're supposed to go through that hole there and then out the front there and tie the knot on, but I think it's going to look a lot neater if I just have the thread going through there and I'll tie the knot off just there. And what I'm going to use is a needle threader. Now anybody that's doing a sailing ship, this is an absolute godsend as when it comes to doing all your lines and getting them through the blocks and everything. Absolute godsend for that. And certainly it's pence from your local shop that sells all sewing cottons and kits. So what I'm going to do, I'll pass that through the hole, we'll get the line, pull it through, tie it off, and job's a good one. So for you, again, this is going to be a mere blink of an eye and we can get all the decking into place. But for me, it's going to be a little bit of work to be done, shall we say. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but in our usual fashion, we can do it in the blink of an eye for you. So I'm going to say Shazam. So there we have it. The deck is now in place. Try and do my best to show you that. Like I say, so there we go. The deck's now in place. We're leaving that to dry. As you can see, I've given myself more than enough cotton there to do what you do for the lines, and I think some kind of tension cable there. It's supposed to be cable, but you get the cotton with it, so I'm happy with the cotton. As you can see as well, I've got the snorkel fitted. Now that little clip there that holds this into position, I didn't even have to glue it. It was that tight a fit, it just clipped into place. So there we go, no glue marks. Right, so I'm now, like I say, going to put that to one side now, let that cure, let that dry, and then we can crack on with the rest of the conning towers. We've already put those two sections together. Now I couldn't get to fit the deck on beforehand because it needed painting, because there are parts on here that fit on top of that, and it would have just made it really difficult for myself to get it painted. So what I'll do for the next video, I'll be making up the conning towers. When everything's glued into place and dried, then I will mask off the decking before we come to spray paint it. So there we go. After about, I think it was about a month, we've actually finally got back on to our submarine build. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I may be able to get it finished by Christmas, but I think it might be pushing it a little bit. So but we'll see how we go on. Like I said, you don't rush, you take your own time, no prizes for rushing. And there we go. I'll see you on the next episode. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Please remember, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to my channel. It'd be very much appreciated. And also don't forget to ring that little notification bell. Also, if you've got Facebook, you can follow me at Adrian Bow Project. And if you've got a Twitter account, you can follow me at Project Bower. So, with all that in mind, I'd like to thank you all again for watching, and here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bow Project.